This is Matt with Altcoin Buzz. Today we're going to do a midweek volume check and look at some trends in crypto that I think that is going to affect volume and mass adoption in the space. So you guys know, let's just get going, jump right into it. The Bitcoin volume today, as we're looking at the weekly chart on Kraken. Before you say anything, guys, remember, we're looking at trends. We're looking at global macro trends here. So I know this is just one exchange, but that's okay. We're just going to look at the volume trends on this because Kraken's been around. It's one of the longest ones out there, if not the longest, 2011. Lots of people trading on Kraken, lots of volume. You know, today, 6-7% of the whole market. So we can get a good basis for what's going on here on a couple things. Weekly candlesticks here. You know, we completed this huge volume January 31st, week of January 31st, leading up to February 7th. This put in the weekly volume, and you know where we bottomed out on that. This candle is now getting ready to close. We almost have a week put in here. Look at this trend, about half the volume of last week. Decent, looks like overall average over the course since about March or April. Looks like about mid volume on this recent run up. We'll see where it closes out today as we look at this. But decent volume coming into this, and we held the levels we were looking for. Held those 200-day moving averages and a few other key points on the fib lines. You can look at the daily chart here on Bitcoin. We're just kind of channeling in. Let's put it in the middle of the screen for you. Right into this space, leveling out. And this is good. Short-term uptrend right here. We held that line. All the short-term moving averages line were right above that or hovering right at it, consolidating. And if you look at the volume, we are from the day here, the big day on February 5th, the volume has leveled and just held right there. Of course, today we haven't put in the volume stick. The day is young. The day is young, everyone. But this is the intriguing one. Let's look at the Litecoin chart. We got to pull this up. First, let's look at the big macro trend on Litecoin. Interesting. Steve did a good video on this yesterday. Here's the weekly chart. We've gone over this before. You know this. Oh, my goodness. Check this out. With some good average volume this week candle, we made a significant jump here. If you look at this Litecoin beginning of the week, 138 on the price, 180 right now, starting to break out of there. But what's interesting is on the daily chart on this, you can see, pull into here. Ooh, look at this, nice. It's like a cup and handle. There's your cup, there's your handle, and a breakout above these levels. This is what I was looking for. See this line right here? Oh, that's a nice line. And we broke out of that today and with volume. So light volume on this consolidation period during this time, light volume, and then a higher volume than the last 7 days, little higher volume bounce, with a significant break above that handle. Very interesting. I like it. I like the fundamental picture of this. I like what they're doing with LitePay and possibly LitePal and these things. Just good, but this is good to look at overall in this space for what you're trying to notice with volume trends. Let's look at Bitcoin Cash, see if we notice anything on that on the daily chart. No significant volume moves. Consolidating though. Look at this. Just flat, flat, flat. Just holding that line. That's a weird chart, isn't it? Let's look at the week candle and see what happens on that when we pull that up. Same thing. Looks like most of crypto space right here. Came down, held the bottom that it put in on the week of January 31st in there and bouncing up. No real changes on the volume. All right. We look at that because significant volume to me is a lot more important than market cap. I don't know why everybody's focused in on market cap as much. Trading volume, that's where it's at. Transactional volume. Let's find out if this stuff is getting used. And let's look at overall trends like we do almost every week. Is the crypto space gaining ground as far as people putting in fiat money, US dollars, is there more money going into crypto overall? Now, of course, as price goes up in the amount of circulating volume, then that's where you get your market cap. But again, some of these circulating volume numbers are iffy to me in the crypto space. I just rely on the top ones. We look at the top ones. And so on volume trends, that's what I want to look at. Is there significant moves in volume either way on these? All right, so we're back on Coin Checkup. You know how we do this. I'll toggle it according to how it normally shows on your screen first off, and they rank it according to market cap. But I'm not into that. I want to know 24-hour volume, US dollar. What is happening here? Is there any significant moves, changes, things we notice in these top 10, top 20 on volume? And right off, when I look at this, we always look at Bitcoin. 6 billion is somewhat normal on this. You guys know that you can go into the chart on any of these, pull up the 3-month chart. You can pull a year if you want, but the 3-month has daily volume trend down here at the bottom. See, as I'm moving along, February 12, 11, each candle or stick down here on the volume is a day. And I just want you to see the overall trend. Don't worry about the numbers. Just look at the trend. Okay, here, I'll pull that up in there for you. Sorry. December, January, we had those significant volume spikes in here. And you can see we're still on weekly, couple week average. We're still at about half of that on there. And on the daily, it's just normal. I wish they'd pull a crosshair on this. Again, somebody from Coin Checkup, call me, write me. I'm talking about you all the time. I got some ideas for you. But I'm going to draw a trend line with my mouse as we go across here. You guys can see that I'm looking at average volume. It's about half on there. They do show you up here the market cap, the total crypto market, the percentage of this particular, well, we're looking at Bitcoin, and the circulating supply and all that, and a price trend up here. But I'm not as into that as I am the trading view. This is a little better, and they pull this data from the TradingView site, and you can go in here. Let's roll down, go up, change it to the 1-day chart, or you can go week, or you can go month, but change it to the 1-day chart. See where we're at on trend on there, and you can zoom it in. Look at your whole year at once on this. We still. There's still way to go up. We broke out of that bottom, that nice V bottom, but look at that. Oh, there's so much more room in there to look at things. Anyway, we got to go back to the main chart on this. So, you can do that, go back, or what I would do is go up to market, go overview, and pull the big chart again with all the coins. I did show you guys this, and you may want to do this again someday. If you want to pull it according to sector, we'll do sector watches. We'll watch rotation out of these different sectors. But I didn't show you this last time. All 71 more of sectors in cryptocurrency. So let's say you want to know about all the coins in the healthcare sector, blockchain-based coins. You can pull those up and see which ones are involved. And while we're in here, let's just look at volume on these. Remember, I'm looking for significant trading volume. I want to see breakouts of this. I want to see where, like Patientory, I want to see where this volume is increasing. If their average daily volume is 435,000, I want to know, is that normal for them? What's their normal volume? If I pull the year chart, let's look at that and see. I think this will give you weekly candles. Okay, look, low volume right now compared to what they had. Everything floated up when the crypto market, the total market cap went to 800, way up there, 800 billion, when it went up there. And the Bitcoin tide raising floated all ships on volume and all that. So this is a little distorted. So let's go to 3-month and find out, what is that doing for this? Light volume for itself. Compare it to itself. Compare trends for this self. Is this a time to get involved in Patientory for trading on the 3, 6, 1 year zone? You might be in it for the long haul. You might be in it for a couple of years. And, I am in this here, and I'm in it for the next couple of years. I want to see their use case and what's going on. But back to sector rotation, it also says right here, healthcare and data storage. So when you look at all these categories, you can find all of them just like that. Coin checkup. This is real useful for picking things for yourself. Okay, back to the volume checks over all the market. This is what stood out to me on volume as I'm looking at it midweek, and this is happening. Remember, when you first pull this, it's ranked according to market cap. I'm going to rank it according to 24-hour volume. And you see the significant jump of Ethereum Classic. So look at this. If you look at what would normally be in the top 10 according to ranking, Ethereum Classic is, according to market cap, Classic is usually 14. So for it to jump up on trading volume, that stood out to me. I want to know what's up with Ethereum Classic, what's happening. Also, as you look across here, we have a significant amount of 7-day gain. So yeah, 24-hour gain, almost 18%. And as you look down the line of the top ones, according to volume, remember I have this toggled according to dollar trading volume, I see, the Huobi token on that exchange, it made a jump. So that's where you want to go look. Why is that making a jump right now? Is there significant volume going into that compared to normal on a daily basis? These give you clues as to what's moving. Is there convergence, divergence from Big Daddy Bitcoin floating all these markets? Do you have more of a jump on these things because of trading volume? And I don't see anything else that really stands out to me except for those two. But the Ethereum Classic, after this last 7 days, wow, up 86%. Earlier when I looked at it, almost up 90. It's a big jump, guys. Big jump. Let's see if any of the rest of them are that. Well, here, you don't even have to guess. Go 7-day jumps, toggle that, and you've got all the huge jumps on here. Again, I know because of 24-hour volume, these aren't huge. Those are tiny volume amounts on these huge jumps. Thinly traded, you may not get in and out of these coins. You know what I mean when we're talking about thinly traded. There's no liquidity in the markets on the exchanges to get in and out of these. So you may not get filled at these prices. And that's the big issue. So I'm going to go down the line here, and I want to see on these top gainers, where's the first time I see a good $1 million in trading volume per day? Again, that is loose. That may not be what you're looking for as $1 million in trading volume. Some days it might be $500,000. Some days for me it might be $3 million. It really depends on which crypto and if you're actually trading. So we want to know that. All right, let's go back up here and toggle it according to 24-hour trading volume. And you see on the Ethereum Classic, after these 24-hour, 18 and 86% jump in 7 days, today's volume was 1.3 billion. Well, that's pretty good. A sixth of the volume of Bitcoin. Half of Ethereum, Big Brother Ethereum, to Ethereum Classic. I don't know what you call it. Is that the silver to Ethereum being gold on that platform? I don't know. I was out of Ethereum Classic at 21, and don't ask me why. I had been in it way in the beginning and just couldn't watch it anymore, and it went up to 21, so I sold it. So obviously I missed out on some gains there. That's all right. But overall trend on these, you want to look at what's happening in there. Something they just added is this algorithm score, how they rank these on Coin Checkup. Something I thought I'd point out to you guys this week since we didn't get to talk lately. This is, if you toggle over that, they collect an objective data and algorithmically score this on a daily basis. So you can go in and dive deeper into why they score these on the coins. Just hit analysis and it'll give you the full scoop right there. That's pretty good. Remember, I'm always watching this one, though, when you look at your coins on this. How long's it been around and how much daily drawdown? maximum drawdown in a day has this coin had. And you guys know about Bitcoin. So we're going to go back to, we may go back to that chart. But again, weekly volume trends here. That's what we're talking about. We want to notice global pictures. I want to see some mass adoptions. So CryptoCompare.com, we visit this every week. You can see overall US dollar volume on Bitcoin. This is the month chart. So compared to the last month, look at this. Good volume on Bitcoin. Here is the February 5th volume. What happened that day? Go back and look. Go back and look what happened. We're down to about the midpoint of the nice volume spikes we had in December, January. Remember, if you look at the course of the last 5 years, those are still significant amounts of volume. And I'm going to show you a chart here a little later that will give you a nice little picture of that, of mass adoption. What I do notice about this compared to last week, remember Tether volume, percentage of the market was down 8 or 9%. It's back up to 14. Japanese yen volume overall for Bitcoin is jumped up 53.8%. And this is the day. This is the 24 hour, I believe. And these are real-time numbers. You can see this volume, 24 hours, and US dollar, and that up to 75%. I think that's about average on that. But the Tether volume has jumped. And we look at this on Bitfinex because they're 37% of the market over here on the right side. That's important because of a couple of these other charts. So that's a bunch. And GDAX and Bitstamp together make up a significant portion. Just to show you, we look at tech, right? So I want to know dollars, US dollars going into tech and compare it to Bitcoin on the NASDAQ. So we look at the NASDAQ most active by dollar volume on the chart here just for fun. And you see if today Bitcoin's volume is 6 billion, Apple's volume, dollar volume, 24 hours right here, 5.3 billion, and Amazon 8 billion. So it's just something to keep an eye on. If you go back and reference other videos we've done, you see. So just one stock alone in the NASDAQ top most active stocks is the same as the Bitcoin volume. And of course, I would like to see, as crypto and mass adoption happens here, I would like to see where Bitcoin winds up being double some of these top ones, where it begins to take over, where we have 10, 20 billion in Bitcoin volume per day. And we see more dollars going into that. So it's just for fun, for a trend. Nothing to do with recommending any of these stocks or any things at all. But we want to know, is more money as a whole going into all this? Okay, we'll look at trends on Coin Trends. This is a cool chart because these are the top 10 most mentioned cryptos on Twitter. We have not only trading volume of, as Sash puts it, hype or buzz going on. What's happening on Twitter is a lot of times what people are looking at the news. They're trading it. They're making themselves aware. Look at this compared to last week, what I showed you. Look at the Litecoin difference on Twitter. I think we had Ripple in the second or third spot last week. There's always a lot of Ethereum Twitter volume, of course, but just grab these on a weekly basis. Look at them as a trend for yourself. Are you involved in these? These top 10, are you involved in all these? If this is the most significant Twitter volume for what's being talked about, then that means I guarantee people are in crypto, they're on Twitter. And they're looking at the news there, and most of them are using that as their news source. So make yourself aware of that. Is Bitcoin Cash gaining? Stellar, is that gaining? You should be in all these. Come on. These are the ones that got they're most being talked about. And on this Coin Trends, highest volume here, you can see it 24 hours. Same thing on Coin Checkup. You could pull that by toggling. Here's some markets alerts, things they have. And remember, this is Bittrex. Remember, we looked at this. Who has the most volume on here? Bitfinex. Bittrex is down where? 9 spot. Today, 3% of the market. So, again, just a segment of the market. But they have this little thing called data of the last 10 minutes. So you can see a big jump in volume change, an increase, big change in buy orders, and a big change in price over here on the left. So look at these pairs that are out there. And this is just, again, 10 minutes is a short-term period. Maybe none of you out there trading on a 10-minute basis. But it's nice to see for overall trends. If you wind up looking at this every day for the things that you're involved in and you notice, wow, this is making a significant volume change today. It's making a significant buy order change today. And they have these, that's on the market alert tab, but they also have this gain and loss tab, the biggest winners, the 5 biggest winners in 24 hours, 5 biggest losers 24 hours, and top 25 by market cap, top 100 by market cap. And it details down here at the bottom which ones those are, which ones are jumping. The significant one, Ucash, look at that, minus 44%. You guys might have already known that. I did not. And to back up what we looked at on CoinCheckup, Ethereum Classic. Ooh, biggest winner, 18%. Litecoin, we know about why that's jumping. Bitcoin, Gold, Stellar, and Amisego. So check those out for yourself if you're thinking about getting involved on volume trends. This is what I wanted you to see. BitInfoCharts.com. All right, this is the active address list on Bitcoin that we have been looking at on a weekly basis. Wanted you guys to see this is the big trend since inception, 2009. Yep. And look at this in terms of mass adoption. Active addresses. Look how the overall trend has just steadily gone up. If you go on this website too, you guys can see when you put your mouse over these deals, they have the significant events in Bitcoin. So it'll when you hover over that, it'll tell you what they are. But mostly I wanted you to see this. Despite the big moves up and the supposed bubble and crash, if that's what everybody's calling it, then you see we are slow and steady gets the prize right here. Look, as I draw that line in that mouse, it's just right on track. Despite this run up in this, the active addresses, the mass adoption, very much still in play. And I think if I looked at this earlier, I don't want to bore you with going through this, but it was somewhere around that 700,000, mid 700,000s on active addresses. Well, we haven't had hardly a time in history besides last month, December, that we had that many active Bitcoin addresses. So again, overall, look at this bottom line. We're up. Everything's up. Still on track for this trend. Now, what things could be out there that are affecting, big movements? We pointed out this list earlier, I think last week. If you go on the same website, it's the bitinfocharts.com, you guys could pull up this rich list here for all your favorites if you want to. Again, I'm interested in Bitcoin. That's gonna be the trend setter in all this. And this is the Bitfinex cold wallet. So I want to know the trend on this, the number of Bitcoins going into that cold wallet on that exchange. Because Bitfinex is in what spot on the chart, on the list, on the big volume list? Number 1, 37% of the market. This is what I wanted to point out to you, that 37% of the market, Bitcoin in to these wallets, 4,400. Number of outs, only 3,900. Now, I would love if some of you smart ones out there can just find out on this. Just absolutely. Can we trend this? Is there a way to trend this? Do they have something on their site? Is there a way we can get on, for those of you who use Bitfinex, do they already have this on their exchange? Can you see this and get an idea of money flow? So that's your project. That's your homework. Somebody can work on that out there. All right. I saw something today on the Merkle. They had a news story on there, and it was reported in a couple other spots. These are things that I think are going to affect and influence mass adoption, like we talked about the Robinhood app. We've talked about Pay. We've talked about some of these things that in the next year or two, crypto is going to go into mainstream. Some of the messaging apps, the things that are going to be used, utility in the background of all these normal apps where grandma is going to wind up using crypto and she doesn't even know it. This stuff is happening. Look at Presearch. I'm using that every day. Look at Brave, the basic attention token for the Brave browser. I'm using it every day. These are mainstream things coming in here. Okay, and so I saw this today on the Merkle, but it's this new, not necessarily new company, but they've been working on this. It's called Cointex. And this is, as far as I can tell, a private company that's not going to do an ICO. Just like Coinbase, just like a couple of these, Shapeshift, a couple other companies that are out there. They're just private companies, and they're going to be private companies. And I'm not so sure they're ever going to do an ICO. If I was them, I wouldn't. You don't need to. But go on Twitter. And, oh, by the way, if you guys want to catch me on Twitter, Crypto Trade Matt. And you can find me on there. Here you go. Cointex. This is something that I think is something like this that's going to affect mass adoption of Bitcoin Cash. What is it? You can go on there and you can see. It is sending Bitcoin Cash by text. All right, so I pulled up their website and their white paper. Cointex, SMS wallet, send and receive Bitcoin Cash without the internet. Cointex.io. Here's the white paper just published, as far as I know, a few days ago. You can look this guy up. He's got tons of YouTube videos. You can look up counter markets and carnivore. This is not a recommendation for this. I read through the whole white paper. I watched a video with the founder. I am liking what I'm seeing so far. And it's, again, this is not so you guys can get involved in their ICO. This is so that you can start trending, looking at mass adoption. If this platform, which they are in beta test, so their white paper is pretty cool. Let's scroll down here to something that gives you an idea what's happening with SMS. You can just text to this balance. It'll give your Bitcoin Cash balance. You can add funds by text. You can send to another phone number. You just send Bitcoin Cash to your friend's phone number. Hey, look at that. So they go through that white paper, very easy to understand, very nice, clean. They show maybe some future use case that they're looking at, and it doesn't seem like it's very far off. It seems very reasonable because they already launched a beta test with 1,000 users. As far as I know, they had a private group, launched it to that, and that from the report of the founder that I watched the video, it's blown up. It's already working, and look, they're expanding to more regions in second quarter, and they're testing all the way through third and fourth quarter. So founded this year. Check it out for yourself, mostly to know if this works like they're talking about, and they say it is working in the beta test and it's catching fire, then why not look at this and find out, is that going to change Bitcoin Cash volume? Is that going to bring more people into crypto? I hate to keep talking about grandma, but is that going to bring grandma into crypto on her smartphone, on her text? Can she use Bitcoin Cash easily? If it works like they say and the security's right like they say, then this could happen, guys. Private beta, limited public release coming March 18th. I would go to their website and click on here and sign up to be a beta tester just so you can get the email and find out what's going on with them. Good, simple, clean website, tells you what they're doing with balancing your balance, your sending deposit, your withdrawals. And then look at this. Well, subscribe for updates. They got the blog there, but on their frequently asked question page, which is very nice, they tell you why they're using Bitcoin Cash and what you can do with it and all that good stuff. But look at this. Cointex collects a 3-cent fee on transactions under $12 and a fee of 0.25%. Not 25%, 0.25%, a quarter of 1% on transactions above $12. Hey, not bad. Would you send and use Bitcoin Cash if you only had those fees and you got to do it right from your SMS? And we're talking coffee transaction, guys. But globally, what happens if this happens with not just this company? What happens if this happens with whatever Starbucks is doing? for these coffee type transactions, dinner, going out, and just paying for little things. Anybody is going to carry 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks of Bitcoin Cash on their phone and be able to do these small transactions. What is that going to do to mass adoption? I'm just saying, take a look at it. Find out if that is going to affect all this. All right, that's it for us. If you guys like this and the other videos, Altcoin Buzz, and you're new, please ring this bell right here on the Altcoin Buzz channel for notifications so we drop a video. You can be notified. Here's a link to all the social media. You can find me on Steemit if you really want to talk. And as I told you, Jay made me, Blockchain Jay made me get the Twitter. So, Crypto Trade Matt. And, can't promise anything on there, but you can find me, and definitely find me on Steem. All right, you guys have a great day. We'll see you later.